Check, 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 check. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just testing levels of the microphone. Going to send you a message now. It's working on Chrome. That's good. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Hello, 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 and welcome. Hi, 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 hi. Check, 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 check. Hello. All right, I'm going to mute my mic now. Yeah, let me know. Hello and welcome to KG5 on what's turning out to be a lovely Saturday afternoon for this WSL matchup between the Glenorchy Knights and Launceston United Soccer Club. It's been an interesting sort of run in to the end of the season. Glenorchy Knights have been in red hot form, potentially the form team of the competition, having beaten Devonport Strikers a few weeks ago 2-0. beaten South Hobart last week 2-0, and they are an absolute roll at the moment. Not that they can move up any further. They're still 10 points behind Devonport, just to show the dominance of that team, despite Glenorchy only having lost a few games this season. And for Lonnie United, it's been a bit of an up and down sort of year. Some good patches of form, some less good patches of form. I think they've had a little bit of a turnover and maybe almost like a bit of a struggle with Launceston City coming in to retain players. Had a bit of a chat to Launceston United coach a couple of months ago, coaching my own side in the cup competition against Lonnie United, and they were definitely had a disrupted pre-season, and I think making that cup final was a really good performance from them. And since then, they just haven't quite hit the form. I know they've had a few of their import signings leave, although seeing today Olivia de Moraes is in the team, so that was a rumour that she wouldn't stick around for the whole season. But they have lost the other American centre-back for a time as well. And for Lonnie United, they still have positions to play. They are a game in front of Kingborough ahead of them, and Kingborough have a 2-point lead, whereas Glenorchy alone in second at the moment. And you know, if you're a seasoned watcher of women's football, especially in Tasmania, they are definitely the most exciting team going around at the moment, despite Devonport's dominance, and it really makes you excited potentially for next year if they can keep this up. I think Vic's Bologna's done an excellent job, and a lot of the players are starting to hit their straps and deliver consistently. While they both go through their pre-match rev up, I'll run you through who's out there on the park today. So for Glenorchy in the red today, Monique Pinkovitz in goals, who potentially maybe the keeper of the season at the might be a little bit of a big call, but she's had a really good year in the Glenorchy goals. Charlotte Butler wearing the number 2 today. Bronte Giddon, one of my favourite players to watch, who'll be playing in the 10. Sarah Bologna, Summer Neal, Eve Swan, a really feisty young winger on this left-hand side. Emma Christie, Ebony Pitt, who can play anywhere on the park. Eve Hughes, Jemima Brown, and Graciela Baez to round out the 11 for Glenorchy. And for Lonnie United, we have Lucy Smith, young winger, number 3, potentially playing up front. Maya Mitchell, Laura Dickinson, Liz Fogarty, Isabella Duff, Willow Avens, Laura Fulton, Olive Sims, Olivia de Moraes, who will be the player to watch for them today, Tia Bennett, and Zoe Moyer wearing the number 40 in goals. So without Jaslyn Van in goals today, and also without Katie Hill, which may be a big difference for them, that veteran presence, ever steady at the back for them. As we're underway here at KG5, the sun has come out. It's nice to see. Been a little bit of a wet sort of morning. Looking for de Moraes down the line. Again, I thought she might have been in the player of the season conversation for a time. Lonnie United were looking at that second spot throughout the year, and again making that run towards the cup final. It just hasn't quite been consistent for them throughout this season. Laura Dickinson will take the throw, and as per usual, cannons it up the line. One of the biggest throws you will see at any level of football in Tassie, as de Moraes can't get through the Knights' defence. Looks like Ebony Pitt will start at centre-back today. I think that's been a big change for them, and potentially one of these things that has just seen them rocket up the standings. It's been very solid at right centre-back, along with Sarah Bologna on the other side, as Dickinson again launches in the middle. Doesn't quite fall for any United players. Christie will try to release Brown, as Elizabeth Fogarty will spread it wide. She's one of the more experienced players as well. We'll have to do it on her own with Katie Hill on the bench today. One of the American imports. I misspoke before. She's still around. And very vocal back there for Lonnie United as Bronte Gidon gets taken out by the referee. Just shepherded off the ball. A little screen run there by Maya Mitchell, playing defensive midfield for Lonnie United. And a KG start to this one at KG5. Here is Demarais trying to make a one-on-one with Pitt. Low ball comes in. Doesn't quite fall for Olive Sims. Follow up. It's a little bit tame, and Pinkovich will take that quite easily. It's Fulton on the follow-in. Long ball up forward. Fall for Gidon. Takes it nice and solidly, trying to find some space, and Christie will dump it up the line. Here's Swan. Almost does get there, and cleared away by the United keeper. Very physical start to this one. See, two teams do have a lot of athleticism across the park. That'll be just dumped out of play for now, for Dickinson to throw it back in. And just easily throws it quarter of the way at the pitch. And Bologna will tap it out of play for Demarais. And even though it has been, probably say, a slightly down season, in some ways fifth for Lonnie United, again, if they can work their way into that top four, that will be a good result for them. And they are clearly the strongest team in Launceston at the moment. It's always really something to play for the northern sides. A bit of bragging rights, and having the longer history in the WSL. I know Lonnie City before that, probably the stronger side. But so given the men have had a rough season of it, and will be going back down to the Northern Championship next year, this will be a big test for the program. They'll be able to put the resources behind them. Here is Demarais. Excellent recovery from Eve Hughes. And Demarais can't find her way through. They've had some better results over the last couple of weeks. Big 7-0 win against Lonnie City a couple of weeks ago. Pretty much everyone getting on the score sheet in that one for Lonnie United. And they've started brightly here. And then the week before, a 3-0 win against Riverside. Demarais on the scoreboard again for them. I think the one that they will want back is the 2-1 loss a few weeks ago against Kingborough, and that's really the team that they're sort of going to be measuring themselves against for the rest of this season. I know there's only a few games to go. But Hannah Walsh with 2 goals, and Demarais again getting on the score sheet for United. And I think having coached against this team, and although they did absolutely take us apart, we won't talk about that one too much. It is sort of the Demarais show around those more solid kind of veteran players like Dickinson and, normally Katie Hill at the back there for United. And I think they're in this sort of interesting era at the moment where it is, they've got a few good imports and a few good young players, whereas Knights themselves are pretty much all young players. They've not really had that many veterans. I know Bronte Gidon and Baez have both played, and Bologna as well have played WSL going back to the Zebras days a few years ago. But without Jess Shreve, who's sort of playing a bit of a bit part role for them at the moment, a little bit of Southern Championship as well. This sort of new era of player have come up through the junior ranks, some of them through the state system as well. It's nicely done. Smith can't get her cross in. Bologna clears up and away. Get on, picks the pocket, tries to release Swan in a one-on-one. And she puts the afterburners on. It's Swan and just miscontrols and cleared away. And Demarius skipping out in front. I just thought maybe she had a bit more time than she actually did in the end, Eve Swan. Who's also been on the score sheet in recent weeks. And I think they really try to use her as someone who splits the play and they can play her in behind, and that's exactly what they did there, as Dickinson this time comes up and clears it away. Swan just sucking in a few deep breaths. She'll be back in here as Neil's throw leads to a bit of confusion. Big long throw. Fogarty tries to clear away. The American really putting her foot through it, and she goes in hard again, and Swan gets elbowed off it on the way down for her troubles. Pitt, she'll just head it into the middle. Gadon. And then plays a pretty trademark through ball. It's a little bit too much on it, but again, she sees things that not that many players in the league see. Bronte Gadon. And in speaking to Coach Ivica Bologna over the year, just in post-game interviews, they've really tried to push her up a little bit more and play a bit more of a firm kind of 10 role. Photo of the referees. So that's nicely done. Brown. Ball comes in now. Nicely taken by Moya, who rolls out. And Avens trying to work it with Dickinson. She does receive it back. Uses her body well. And Demarius gets there first, and referee saw something different to the linesman. As they just sort it out here. Dickinson will throw in again. Again, lovely throw in straight to the feet of Demarius. Avens will get through. It's a challenging ball in the middle. And Sims was lurking at the back post. She'll end up receiving the ball now. Hughes just did enough to keep her off there. And now Brown's released Gidon, who is rampaging forward. Goes around one. Will look to stick Swan in behind, and this time Fogarty, such a physical player, as Gidon goes down in her wake. And it's been a really good start to this one. Nice competitive game so far in the first 15 minutes of this one here at KG5. The Swan gets through. Can't find more than just a pocket of space. You can see how pumped up Lonnie United get when they get their physicality going and start to step that side of the game up. There's Baez. This is her little clearance. We'll go Dickinson again. A little big launch up the line. Smith looking for Demarius. Does poke it through past Bologna. The cut inside's a little bit loose. Bologna will patiently clear. Can't find Summerneal on the way out. I think United have done well of just disrupting Glenorchy's comfortability on the ball so far. I think people like to talk about Glenorchy's front line, but the midfield is a very hard-working one. It does pack a lot of quality into it. Fogarty again using her physicality, goes for the 1-2. Little poke through from Baez. Shot gets blocked. Nice clearance away from Hughes. She'll have to go again. Doesn't have very many options and earns a free kick in the process. Bologna characteristically will run it out of defence. Now they have some momentum here. Just takes a little bit too much time with it. Neal presses and now is left pit in a one-on-one with Demarius. Fancy footwork from the Brazilian, tries to poke it around the outside, and it's well taken by Pinkovic. Who for mine has probably been the form keeper in the state this season. And Michaela Mitchell has kept a lot of clean sheets and maybe doesn't quite get the action that a lot of other keepers probably can show talent to make those saves. You see Casey Bumford make some highlight saves pretty much every week for Kimber Lions. The strikers just don't give up shots like that. So it does make it potentially a little bit harder to impress on those save of the weeks and potentially for the team of the week. That's a beautiful ball for Swan. She just a little bit offside though. Bologna had found a window. And Swan, who has been looking to run in behind Dickinson when she's been attacking, just finding that little bit of space again. Just going to have to be wary of that as Fogarty will now take her free kick for the offside. Thumps it forward. Demarius does make a good touch to bring it down. Pressing hard. And she'll get it down again, the threatening Olivia Demarius, but coming back from an offside position apparently. As we've had 15 minutes go by in this one. go short for Glenorchy. Big pressure from Sims. They will get out the side here. There's Butler trying to get up the line. He hasn't had much of the ball out on that far side thus far. She'll try to get it back again here. And we'll win another throw for Glenorchy. Nicely recycled. Back for the forward run of Brown. A little bit overrun by the United defender. Swan in space again, and this time just a little bit heavy on the touch. He's been taking up some really good positions for the Knights. You sort of sense if they are going to get open, it probably will come through Swan hanging out on that left-hand side. Just hasn't quite had her first touch right today. He'll come back to the Knights winger and it goes under, but she'll chase it down anyway. Cut back, just eludes Brown. Avens. Demarice will keep it in nicely. Again, very quick feet. And trying to use the pace to burn past Byers. The reverse ball is fantastic. Smith in space. Does she have anyone to pass it to? Tries to cut inside, and Bologna is right there. It probably sums up the season for in some ways thus far. Do some great stuff, particularly through Demarice, and then just have that little bit of indecision just to really put away the half chances that you need to against the top teams. Nice feet by Swan. She gets it up the line. Christie in, gets it through. Gadon tries to cut it past Fulton. Christie will get it forward this time. Head away from Duff. And Dickinson will clear away. A little bit shaky there from United, but effective. Christie will poke through for Swan. Gadon's making a run through. Had to put on the brakes so she stayed on side. And the longer pass for Butler is well wide. Really hard one to sum up so far over this first 20 minutes. Here in the commentary box, it's been a really competitive game. Both teams shown some good patches of play, but just a little bit scratchy on the final execution to really break it open. The Butler will find Brown in a little bit of space. Butler can get it back here. That's a little bit behind her. United won an offside, but I don't think that was anywhere near it. And away it goes by Dickinson, wearing the captain's armband today. And see Butler really waiting on that reverse pass. Throw comes in for Brown. And Isabella Duff does enough to sort of find herself on the ground, but shielded off, and Moya will pick up and boot it very high. Neal brings it down, but only as far as Smith. Demarice now skinning through, pits in the nice area. So just cut it off, and then makes a good recovery as well. And Ebony Pitt. And again, the centre-back partnership between Pitt and Bologna has been absolutely fantastic this season. I know Pitt sort of runs through the midfield at times, and they have Shreve on the bench as well. They want a bit of a different look, but I think that those two just complement each other very well. Pitt has the pace and a bit of height to sort of keep up with someone like Demarice, who you can see has just that extra little bit of pace. Long ball in from Dickinson. It's Demarice on the feet. And it will go out for a corner. And always an ever-present threat against Lonnie United is the Laura Dickinson long throw. I don't always think they utilise it or set it up that well, but this time, I think today they're cottoned on to how far she actually throws it, and looking for the feet of Demarais straight off that long throw from Dickinson. She's hit her on the feet 3 or 4 times already today. And that one is very threatening. Corner's going to come in from Smith. It's a decent ball. Fogarty's in there, and Pinkovich has to scramble to save. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's not going to be a corner. The referee's calling it. Linesperson saying something different. But it will be another corner for United. And Fogarty will be the threat here in the box for United, coming up from centre-back. Very tenacious in the air and on the ground as well. Wouldn't want to be standing in the way of the big United centre-back. Ball comes in, Pitt's in there, and head away. Well, drop for Demarais. Just poked away by Butler. Does enough to make them go back. Come away with it for the Knights. Swan sees Butler, and she's in lots of space here. Charlotte Butler. Duff using the pace to get across, and does very well to just shield it out. And see, United like to push their fullbacks up, and the Knights are trying to just use the space that's left in behind. But again, Fogarty and Duff, spoken about how well Pitt and Bologna complement each other at the back, but see Duff sort of being that little whippet, almost sweeper, using the pace to keep any of those counter-attacks snuffed out on the ground. And then Fogarty, more of that destroyer type. Ball's a decent one in. Swan's there, post, she follows up again. Big save, and then turned in by Eve Swan. Will be 1-0 to Glenorchy. Absolutely pinballing around in the box there. She got the first head to it. It was a big save by Moya. I think she might have even made a second save, cannoning off the post as well. They just couldn't clear it. And Swan does break this one open. It was a very threatening ball in from the corner. And 1-0 to Glenorchy. United will feel a little bit aggrieved just having their own sort of sustained spell of pressure up forward. That's a big goal just to settle the nerves a little bit in this one. It's been a fairly cagey sort of game. And probably wouldn't say Swan is the main aerial threat that they've got, Glenorchy Knights, but in the right spot at the right time. United will try to respond straight away though. Laura Fulton trying to work it through. Butler can't turn the corner. Yeah, just a touch more territory in this one, Lonnie United. I think Knights maybe a little bit more possession. Here's Neil making that overlapping run. Looks for the channel, and Dickinson will pick it up. Gadon trying to thread that needle. Hughes doing well to get there first, but Olive Sims will turn the corner. Her little through ball is a little bit too far in front of Demarais. Short ball for Sarah Bologna. Nice wide ball out, and they're going to chip it over the top of Dickinson. This time she's in a great spot, but only as far as the touchline. A little bit unconventional. He's probably think Knights with their through balls and their sort of longer diagonal passing, what they sort of look for to build up to create their opportunities. But as a coach, if you can score any goals off set pieces at all, it really just makes your life a lot easier. As Pitt sweeps forward. Brown has been pretty well held by Fogarty so far. Can't get first touch of it. But they will have some nice little passing combinations again, Glenorchy. This one now in a one-on-one. Chips it back up. Dickinson right there. It's been a really good battle on this left-hand side for the Knights. This one will just keep it in. Flag stays down. Clearance comes away from Duff. Throw comes in from Neal. Here's Brown. Gets a head up and looks for Gadon, who jumps, but well over the head in the end. Nicely held up by Fulton. Fogarty trying to get it away here. Well won by Hughes. It's been solid at the back so far for Glenorchy. Not the most physically imposing back line, but they just get their feet in front and use their speed very well. Clearance is not the best one from Duff. Well in by Avens, cleaned up by Baez. Shifted the hips and clears it out for Neal. Baez wants it back and ends up skipping her. Gadon gets through. Reverse pass on the left, it's Brown. And the creativity on show again from Bronte Gadon. Just a little shift to the hips and set it up pretty nicely for Brown in the end. Just sees the space incredibly well. I think it's one of those things, someone who plays the midfield position. I'd love to think myself as a similar type of player. Never quite reached these heights, I will say. But a beautiful little drag back with the left foot. If you can get her just to make some decisions for you, she will create good things. Nicely done by Bologna. Tries to hit that channel again. Glenorchy are really trying to battering ram it down that left-hand side, as Willow Avens is just adjudged to having infringed on Bologna. Just went into the back for her a little bit strongly. Neal to take, and again looking for that channel, and hits it pretty well this time, and it has it held up on this synthetic pitch. It has just done enough for Swan. Doesn't have a lot of help back there, Swan. A little bit of high contact, but holds on to it for now. Been a really good physical battle there on this near side. Dickinson, one of the league's premier fullbacks for sure. I think Swan really making a name for herself this season. The thing I like about, well, both of them really, it's just how hard they compete all game. They're not really going to give each other an inch. No. Long throw again from Dickinson. She'll look for Mariah's feet and skids it through beautifully. Just does it easily, Laura Dickinson, with those long throws. Get out of trouble. Neal pokes it through to Christie. They had a bit more space than she thought. Looks to thread through that through ball. And well chased down by Dickinson again. And they're looking for that channel in behind her. And she's been up to the task so far. Neal's throw is a little bit skew whiff, and it'll be pretty well maintained by the Launceston United defence. Fulton sitting quite deep at the moment. I think the Knights midfield are just starting to get on top, and it's a bit under hit by Duff. Again, Dickinson and Swan go at it. Swan again, winning it this time, and the reverse pass is a little bit narrow. And I think probably harp on this, but Christie and Baez and Gadon do complement each other very well. Get through a nice, similar sort of effort in that midfield. Really only the strikers, I think, in the league have anywhere near the quality in the midfield. Maybe South Hobart when they're healthy, and they just haven't really been that this season. He's played with just that bit of structure that I think some teams in the midfield, they put strong players in there and then can be a little bit overrun. You don't see Glenorchy's midfield overrun too often. Knights will look to play out here. Bologna walking it forward now. Tries to get through Dickinson. And Fogarty again just smashing that ball out of play. Going through Bologna. Ball. Sims can't control. Demarice will shift her hips all the way through. Smith will go back up the line. Able to release Sims. Might just trickle out of play, and Pitt is really just a young player, but plays with a head on her shoulders like she has been in the league for a long time. Obviously, really strong football lineage in the Pitt family. Brother Owen over at Kingborough at the moment, having come through at Knights, and Father Craig, a few different clubs really, but most recently University. Won the state title in the early 2000s for the Bees. And Swan and Butler have changed wings, so Swan will be out on this right-hand side and tries to go to the byline and then runs out of play. And Ebony, again, probably a breakthrough season this year. Was playing a little bit last year as well, just through that midfield, but since slotting in at centre-back, since Shreve sort of had a few injuries early in the year, sort of has stamped her authority on that right centre-back spot. Swan. And Fogarty will clear away for United. Goal scorer, if you're just joining us, Eve Swan off a corner for Glenorchy, and it's 1-0. About 10 minutes to go in this half. And again, Knights have just hit form at the right time. Two really big 2-0 wins for them. The only team that have beaten Devonport in the last few seasons, even with the relative strength of South Hobart over the last few years. Butler should get there first, and we'll cut it back up for Brown. It's a nice touch inside and just blocked off enough by Fogarty. Probably talking for a point for another time, but it will be sort of interesting to see the comparison between Knights and South Hobart, both in the run-in here. I know South are trying to sort of bring through more of their younger players to go with some of those veterans like Lucy Roberts and Kate Olahead. But definitely missing a few through injury as well this season. Interesting to see Elliot Browning sort of come back into the fold as well for them, playing at Knights last year. That was a big get for them. I think flirting with mainland football opportunities. Swan will chop it back up to the top of the box. Good on, bustling her way through. Swan on the left, makes good contact and follows up again. Deflection could have gone anywhere, but it will get cleared away by Dickinson in the end. The pressure is on for United at the moment. Since that goal's gone in, Glenorchy just starting to turn the screws in this one. All coming up and gets cleared away by Lucy Smith. Reverse pass from Baez. Christie. Dangerous little ball in and booted away by Duff. Bit of a half chance for Brown and gets cleared away by Fogarty. Smacks it up the line. And out on that far side now for Swan, who's changed wings. She will go around one. Looks to set up Brown. Turns through the middle, but well picked up by Fulton. Havens trying to release Sims here. Bologna just using her body well and then again bustling her way out of defence, but a little bit short for Butler. Dickinson now. Nice ball into Smith. Turns one way. Put through Sims. And Bologna doing nicely. Probably a little bit early to start talking about that next season, but given the form run that Knights have been on, we'll sort of have some thinking about what might happen next year. Given just Devonport's dominance as Fogarty again, you cannot keep her down for long. It's ready to really throw herself into some tackles. The line by Neal. I don't know if that came in, but looks like it's span out. Dickinson instead is looking for that little run in behind. Tries to put on the head of Smith. Demarais. It's been a little bit more quiet in this last 10 minutes. Gets around Pitt, but again, Neal this time. And again, the defensive positioning is nice and organised from the Knights. Short ball for Bologna. Tries to take it forward. Does well. Butler. Head up and into Baez, who has a few touches ahead of her. Ball into the channel is a challenging one for United. But again, Fogarty in the right spot at the right time for Lonnie United. We're just creeping towards half-time here at KG5. And it has been a very even contest. I'd say the goal coming off a set piece. And really just cannoning around in there. Probably been fairly representative of the play. Glenorchy with probably just the slightly better chances, but without that many clear shots on the Launceston United goal. And United have caused some issues, especially with their physicality, but Knights have been up to the task so far in handling that. They will try to play it out here now. Bologna wants that wide ball. I think the run from Neal does get it in the end. Brown's made a little angled run. We'll go out wide to Butler here. Christie floating into that area to help. Nicely done by Butler, following up well. Demarais' clearance gets blocked. Gidon slides it back with the reverse pass to Brown, and Fogarty, as has been the case all half, right there to make the clearance for Lonnie United. Pitt will walk it forward. Doesn't have anything she likes in front, so sets it back up for Hughes, who also plays it back to Pinkovitz. Bologna just searching forward now. Pitt on the run. Hughes, nicely done. It's exploring that space as Baez will spread it wider. Neil looks for the channel and doesn't find it. And again, I think since the wing swap, Dickinson's probably had a little bit of an easier time of it down on this near side. But I think Glenorchy have sort of counted on Butler doing a reasonable facsimile of what Swan was doing. And it has opened up Swan on that far side just a little bit more as well. United have been playing out each time, and I don't know how successfully it has really gone for them just yet. And this time it is a little bit skew-if again, and we'll go out of play. A couple of half chances fed into Glenorchy's press. Really difficult little passage of play just to get out of this congestion for the Knights. Hughes will get it to her Eve namesake in Swan. Gadon doing nicely to run through the middle. A little bit under hit this time on the left foot, so she's a bit disappointed, and this time Dickinson will counter-attack. It's a raking ball forward for Smith. The touch is a decent one and hits early and puts it away. A wonderful through ball from Laura Dickinson sets up Lucy Smith. It took a good touch and put it away right on the stroke of half-time for United. Knights were trying to run forward and create something and just left a little window open at the back. Laura Dickinson has been doing a lot of defensive work over the first half of this half, able to get some space and play a wonderful ball in for Smith, who took it just about as good as you can. So 1-1 at KG5. It has been an excellent competitive matchup so far, and I think for a neutral, seeing that one go in, nice to see there'll be lots to play for in this second half. And as I was saying, I think Knights probably been the team with a little bit more to offer in this first, but United on probably the first real opportunity they've had, they've put it away as easily as you like. Pinkovitz had no shot really, had to be in that sort of no man's land of, do I stay on the line or come there? And now United have a little bit of momentum. See, the press is just got a little bit more energy to it. Now first the ball here. Smith, the goal scorer. She turned the corner. Demarice have come back a little bit deeper now, playing in that midfield. And Hughes will make the tackle, and it'll go out for another throw. They're wanting to get it moving quickly. Launceston United, they do, but it will be half-time as a few sore bodies just hit the ground and stretching out some cramp. But a good response just at the end of that half from Launceston United to make it 1-1. Lucy Smith, the scorer for the team in the white and the blue. And Glenorchy having gone ahead in this one through set-piece goal. With Eve Swan being in the right place at the right time to put Glenorchy ahead about 20 minutes into this game. It's been an entertaining contest so far. Really tight matchup. Lots of hard tackling, physical play, and some good passing. And attacking play as well. So it's been a great game for anyone watching here. I hope you are rugged up at home, although the sun is out at the moment. Go grab yourself a cup of tea and strap in for the second half, which should be a good one here at KG5. So get yourself a break and we'll rejoin you in just a few moments.
We've made some new hires. Ooh.
Introducing Macca's Korean Barbecue Dunk Range.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Welcome back to KG5 for the WSL matchup between Glenorchy Knights and Launceston United. Late on in the season here in the WSL, it's been a tight old tussle so far, with teams heading to the break locked together with 1 goal apiece. It's been a fascinating sort of matchup from a tactical perspective. Really competitive game, very physical game at times, but with a couple of good goals as well to speak of. So strap in for the second half of this one. I hope you've been enjoying the first half. Should keep going with being a great game as Smith fakes them all out. And we're back underway here at KG5. Neil has Demarais for company. Her back heel misses Fulton. Brown's 1-2. It's a little bit under the hit. And just looking at Glenorchy, looks like they've just made a bit of a change. Hughes has made her way further up the pitch, with Neil coming over to play right fullback. There's Moya, who will collect for United. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow on the goal there, just seeing what was happening over on that far side. And Swan, almost went on with it. And yeah, swap back over. Swan's gone over onto the left-hand side. Looks like Charlotte Butler might have been subbed off. And I'm just trying to see who that is on the far side for Glenorchy, who is playing at the left back. Might be Zara McLeod over there, throwing it in. Again, we're not on the right side of the pitch to see that. We'll update you once I get a clearer view of the number. It does look like Zara coming on. Neil goes forward, and nice 1-2, much to some of the crowd's delight. Fogarty, her ball just gets cleared out of play. I think that, yeah, can see the arm rate on the shorts now. It is Zara McLeod who's come on, so a bit of a tweak from Victor Bologna. Charlotte Butler, but not her best half. Not in terms of anything effort-wise or anything like that, but just struggled to really get a foothold in the game, and looking like I just want a different look in the second half. The Knight staff. McLeod played into the feet of Swan, who will resume her battle with Dickinson out on that left-hand side. And Dickinson might have been best on in that first half for Lonnie United. Has had to do a lot of defensive work and hasn't had her colours lowered, definitely since Swan's moved over to that other side. And then set up Launceston United's goal with a really nice bit of, firstly, defensive work, and then the pass through to Smith. It's just about as good as you see as Demarais is bustling through. Pinkovic has to come and does well. Clears nice and long. Headed back in by Fogarty. Now Gadon finding a nice pocket, and she'll smoke it through that gap. And the rangefinder just a little bit off there from Bronte Gadon. Normally so good at finding those through passes. It's definitely the right sort of ball, just a little bit too much on it. Blocked off by Christie. And forward again. Here's McLeod now, the substitute. Just trying to find a pocket of space. Christie now with her little through pass. That's well weighted. Swan gets there first and puts it in the middle, but no one making the near post run. And Moya will easily collect. She'll roll it forward. Not her best clearance. Brown turning the corner. Can she find the range? Nicely done by Christie. Fogarty again, who has just been flying in at those challenges. Swan. Early ball and finds a side netting. Worth a shot there from Eve Swan. Hughes playing further up the field. Can't find somebody on the overlapping run. Gudon will turn it around instead. Nice feet. Nicely out of trouble there by Hughes. Does have Brown in the gap. Decides to switch it across instead. And Demarice has a very striking boots change at halftime. Maybe just opting for that artificial ground. Maybe wanting some different look with the bright pink Nikes. All in by Fogarty again. Very hard task for Brown today. She's been well teamed up on by the United centre-backs as McLeod comes across and finds Hughes. 50-50 there. Gets through one. She'll try to go around another. Fogarty flying in again now. Hughes, some extra space, going to that byline. And does earn a corner for Glenorchy. Unleashing Hughes up forward after a stint at fullback. Starting to create. She's a little bit more of that pace on that right-hand side. Not the best effort from Neil. Glenorchy scoring off a set piece earlier in this one. And United are playing out again. This time they have to clear it forward. Well done by McLeod just to shield that one off. Brown. Short ball for Gudon. Has Sims, who's working hard to put some pressure on. Here's Gudon. Goes past one, goes past another, and does shoot in the end. Always going maybe a little bit too far sideways. Tried to pull it back in and the wrong foot the keeper. Some good moments so far in the second half from Gudon. Other good matchups in the WSL today. Obviously, South Hobart and Devonport sort of become sort of, I will say, the El Clasico of Tasmanian football generally, but I will say in the Women's League as well. It's as much as Devonport have had the wood on South over the last few seasons. It's always a tight tussle and edgy affair at times. Here's Swan. Goes through one. It's a good challenge again, but well recovered by Fogarty. Trying to fashion something up the line here, United. Dickinson. Find the return pass. Pitt with space. And spreads it across. Neil. And Pitt head checking. Finds Gudon, and they get out of space nicely. They can switch it across here. Bologna. Trying to pick a pass through to Brown. It's one a little bit wider. They will find her now. She'll try to lay it off for Christie, and it's a little bit short. Just trying a few different things here at the Knights. United are playing with a good defensive line just in that mid block, making it very hard for them just to pick passes at the moment. And Duff can't get there. Does fall for Brown. He's got Swan on the wide, and the great save in the end by Moya. Powerful shot by Swan. And well down. Low save at the near post there. Curling ball in. It's a good one. Keeper comes and doesn't take. It's action stations by United, and there will be a penalty. You can hear the challenge hit the shin pad of Swan. The referee makes no hesitation to pull that one back for a pen. Swan didn't initially go straight down, but definitely impeded, and you could hear that the ball wasn't made. You can see Fulton pretty disappointed about that. Maybe not fully agreeing with the referee's decision. Maybe a little bit upset at herself. And that might just add a little bit of a window of opportunity here for Glenorchy. It's Ebony Pitt, centre back to take for the Knights. Moya in goals, and Pitt roofs it into the post. It was well struck and just a tiny bit wide. Thought for a second that was going right into the top corner. Still got the pressure on Knights. Baez gets through one. A little bit of confusion again. They will clear out for a corner. A little bit of disappointment for the Knights on that penalty. Pitt made the decision to go high and wide, and just a little bit too far wide. I don't really blame someone fitting the post on a pen, but given Moya didn't really move, they've just been able to roll it. It's always hindsight though with penalties. Still got an opportunity here, Knights, and again, Neil's corners have just been a little bit off on this near side in the second half. Just struggling to get the right angle. Again, those outswingers are a lot more difficult. And Knights will want to respond from the missed pen. Swan goes down again and does earn a free kick this time. As I said, it's been a fantastic little battle out on the far side between Swan and Dickinson. This time Swan getting the better of the Launceston United captain. Pitt this time will come up to take the free kick. Really unfortunate on the penalty, but a lifeline for Lonnie United. I might think a bit of ball don't lie within that one. It's a good free kick. Not the best clearance. Falls to Gadon. Pokes it wide. Back in the box by Hughes. And Demarice will come away. Will she release Laura Fulton? Can't get around the corner. And well mopped up again by Glenorchy. United trying to get a little bit higher up. Baez, beautiful drop of the shoulder. And then the ball to match. Hughes is well offside. A little bit of sauce from Gracie Baez. Shift one way and then the other. Fogarty. I think Fulton. Stolen away by Gidon. Smith. Nice. Just playing on the shoulder there. Couldn't quite get the ball through. Nicely done by Lucy Smith. Bronte Gidon. Not much in front of her, so she'll have to just take the throw in. Tia Bennett with the tackle. Nicely one down by Hughes. Knights can switch here. Byers opens up. Wants the run from McLeod. This time goes forward instead. And Dickinson in the right spot again. Her ball's a pretty good one. Just found the right spot for Demarias. She releases her winger. Fulton's in the middle. And the ball comes in early. But Bologna, nicely done. And away by the Knights, and they will get a throw in for their troubles as well. Still 1-1 here. Now we're gone at KG5. A fascinating little matchup. Missed penalty, a few goals. Really had everything. And United wanting to put more pressure on up forward at the moment. Call from the coach coming out. But I think they've had a lot of just defensive work to do generally. Maybe that is just about backing their back four up a bit more from the pressure up forward. It's been pretty, again, a little bit cagey in this first part of the second half. Demarias was looking threatening early, hasn't had a lot of space since. Sims coming back through for Gidon. Again, there's a lot of physicality on display today. Brown's ball can't find its way through. And United playing with those double pivots. They've been rotating through there as well, so keeping sort of fresh legs throughout the whole game. Maya Mitchell trying to put some pressure on now. Sims has also gone into the midfield after starting on a wing. And Fulton is coming out in her direction now, has moved over to this left-hand side. And United wanting a bit more pressure on this sort of ball here. Swan cuts inside well. Wants a shot. Again, Fogarty just steps out and puts a powerful challenge in. Would not want to come up against the big Lonnie centre-back. Between her and Katie Hill, who isn't on the park today. It's an ominous little duo. I can put at the back there. Long throw forward from Dickinson once again. Christie coming through. He's been doing a lot of dogs work today. Emma Christie. Swan again. You do feel like if anything is going to come from Knights today, Eve Swan's going to be at the heart of it. He's had some good motion thus far. And Christie will earn a corner. Very blustery conditions today in Hobart. Hard trying to keep these set pieces nice and consistent. It's big in swinger this time. Flicked up by Fogarty, does bounce. And Duff will get it away in the end. Centre backs for Launceston United, teaming up well there in the end. Don't always want to see a ball bounce in your penalty spot off a corner. As a coach, really just sort of scare you a little bit, but well managed in the end. Neal can't find its way through. Bologna will receive it now off Pitt. Fulton trying to put the pressure on. McLeod working it away forward. Nicely attacked by Zara McLeod. Little splitting pass in, and Isabella Duff again making a nice interception. Yeah, after some more action this weekend, obviously final series occurring in the men's NPL competition. We have a battle of black stripe teams. I'm just trying to think of a good sort of facsimile between Lonnie City and Kingborough, but they're the teams that will take place down at Lightwood after this game. So we'll get underway just before this one finishes up. And then, as I was saying before, El Clasico in the women's. I think it's also El Clasico in the men's, Devonport versus South Hobart. South, obviously, with the win in the league this season. Devonport have run them pretty close a couple of times. We'll keep a pretty strong eye on that one. That's tomorrow. It's just been a little bit mucky over on that far side. Ball's really struggling to stay in play at the moment. Again, it is a little bit windy over there and blowing out towards that side. As game down at Darcy Street in the women's, it's just finished off 7-2 to Devonport. I think that's really been the difference between those two sides over the last couple of seasons is being able to remain defensively solid throughout the whole season, really, but in the games between them as well. Still all to play for in this one if you're just making your way over, flicking over on the YouTube channel. 1-1 the score. Might not be for much longer, though, as Demarais steps in front there. She cuts inside. Headed away by Bologna. Christie with the clearance away. United getting that pressure now. Again, coaching staff, that's what they've been wanting in the second half, just to get that forward half pressure a little bit higher. Demarais gets collected on the way through by Pitt. Definitely got the ball first. Interesting raking little cross in from Bennett. And no space to be fashioned out on that wide right wing for United. Pinkovitz instead will launch forward. Dickinson and Swan will resume their battle. This time Duff has her fullback covered. Ball comes in from Swan. A little bit splayed away. Hughes can't control. And it's been very solid thus far at the back for United. Again, they've got those two holding midfielders in very solid sort of spots. And Knights midfield got on top in the first half. Haven't been able to get anywhere near as much space in the second. It's been a lot more passing at the back, keeping possession from the Knights. This time, Bennett will put an interesting little ball in for Demarais. Goes around one, cuts back inside. This time shoots, it gets blocked. We'll get teed up for Sims. Tries to turn around Christie. Does enough to hold the United players off. And the follow-up is a little bit skewed by Maya Mitchell. Swan tries to collect that one and caught it on the half volley. A little bit unfortunate. This looks like Glenorchy are just teeing up another change here on the near side. Be interesting to see what sort of shape they go to. Baez. One away by Sims, who's come into this midfield spot for United in the second half and shored things up a bit. Gidon lays it off for Christie. Her through pass. Doesn't have any runners in behind at all there. As Moya will pick up easily. She's been happily putting these footy kicks in. Smith, a goal scorer for Lonnie City. Pitt steps in front of Demarais. Doesn't have any time to sort of get past, and Smith's forward pressure's good again. Pitt gets out of trouble. Baez has Fulton for company. They're just struggling to get those forward options now, the Knights, but they will keep possession. They're going to switch it here, Glenorchy. Neil with a little bit of space, but United have picked up their work rate in the second half, and it's very hard for the Knights to get out at the moment. Nicely done again by Ebony Pitt. And Demarais well held by the Glenorchy centre-back. And we'll make a little substitution here. Glenorchy, Jess Shreve coming on. We'll play slot into centre-back. It looks like Sarah Bologna's gone into the midfield. And I think it's Isabel Tumman. We'll just double check that once again. She faces me. Yep, here's Isabel Tumman in the number 9 for Glenorchy. She will play on the right wing. So another look again on this right-hand side. Haven't quite been happy with what they've gotten so far. Hughes this time coming off for the Knights. Here's Swan resuming her battle with Dickinson. Low ball in again. No one coming in at the front stick. That would have been a very hard one to get to from Brown. Definitely not pointing any fingers. Just where the ball landed. Baez now with a bit of momentum. It's going to be a little bit too wide for Tumman. No, he does keep it in. And Bennett has done well to field it off and sticks it out of play for a Glenorchy throw. 15 minutes to go. Point will be not a bad result for United in particular. They will want all three. Put some pressure on Kingborough, not Kingston. That's where they play, but ball in behind's an interesting one from Smith. A little bit of confusion from Bologna and McLeod. They do work it out in the end, but it will go out for a corner for United. Fogarty coming up along with Dickinson as well. Smith. Again, it is very blustery conditions here. As a corner taker, it's always a little bit tricky to line up. She's not loving how the corner flag's sitting either. It's a deep ball over the head of everyone though. And they'll run after it. We'll go out of play. Wind is blowing fairly stiffly towards that far side. Ball coming through. McLeod will clear it up for Swan. Nowhere near the young Glenorchy winner. And substitution for Launceston United, their first of the day, with Laura Fulton coming off. And Nina Roy, number 11 for United. We've got two more subs, Katie Hill and Indy Young. I assume Katie would have already been out there, maybe just named on the bench as an emergency. Nathan Wright pulling some strings, seeing if a little bit of fresh legs might push United over the top here. It is an important game for final league position for Launceston United. Probably just done enough to keep Taruna at bay, especially if they get a point out of this one, if not better. But a point, if not all three, will help them move closer towards Kingborough in fourth and get that top half finish. Baez with a bit of momentum. Hits it cleanly. A little half volley for Moya to deal with. The clearance is a little bit short. Baez again. Gets the run from Bologna. Momentum forward. Nice cut in by Swan again. Doesn't really have many options, so goes for a bit of a shot, but almost comes off for Tumman. She's going to have to chase back hard. Bennett gets rid of it, but straight into fullback of Neil. Goal scorer Smith can't get through. Demarias, her control isn't the best, and she just moves past a couple of Knights shirts here. Nice cut inside. Smith. And away by Shreve. In by Gadon. Both going hard at it, shoulder to shoulder. Gadon wins it away in the end, and we'll get a throw in. 15 minutes to go. Knights want to keep their little win streak going. Haven't lost in the last 5 matches, Glenorchy Knights. Haven't even drawn in those matches either, I should say. So, probably the form sheets on the way in, you'd think it's probably just swung in the scales of the Knights here, but United seem to have the bits between their teeth right now. Smith trying to go through, showing the pace, but shielded off there by Bologna again. So it looks like they've shifted again. Bologna not sitting in that midfield role. That might have just been temporary. With Pitt going into the midfield, as they often do, sort of finish like that, Glenorchy. Since Shreve's come on, very experienced centre-back for Glenorchy. He's played a little bit of defensive midfield at the championship level as well. Bologna. This one will touch it forward. Try and burst down the wing here. Does get past one. And Dickinson wants a throw in, and we'll get one. Just running out of room. $10 minutes to play in this one. Just over. Will we see either side break this one open? Yeah, a very tense affair. And a very physical affair as well. Sims now. Can't get through Baez. Been putting her authority on the match in this last 10 minutes or so. Through ball comes from McLeod. Brown's in behind, gets there first. And away goes Moya. Thought for a second she'd cut in front of Fogarty. Maybe just got her heels clipped, but kept her feet. Fogarty kept her heels clean as well. And away and out of play for Glenorchy here. Pitt will take the corner. Did miss a penalty just off the post earlier in this half. Big in-swinger from Pitt. Swan's in the area. Fogarty falls over. And then Moya takes it nice and cleanly. And I think Fogarty has just stayed down. Just have a drop ball. And Moya nicely picked up. He's had a solid game in between the sticks for United. Hasn't had to make any really drastic saves. Again, it's been one of these games where not a lot of clear-cut opportunities for either team, really. Obviously, a goal well taken by Smith for United, and although I think Glenorchy have had more passages of play that you'd say they've probably been on top for, in terms of what they've had to show for it, it's only probably been a few half chances, and I guess that's probably where you've got to make sure you don't get ahead of yourselves if you're a Knights supporter or admirer of this Knights team, which I wouldn't say I'm a supporter, but definitely like to see the trajectory this young team's on, but whether they can match the lethal consistency of a Devonport is that next sort of question for them to overcome. And obviously still very young players, wouldn't want to put that expectation on them just yet, but clear away in second. They're not in the scheme of things that far behind the Strikers, much as Strikers will have knotted up the title by now. Will they take that next step in the next couple of years? They've already taken a massive one this season, as United in a bit of a rebuild season for them. Swan. Short to switch it across. Shreve loves to play a channel ball. We'll find Bowes' feet instead. Nice bit of play through the midfield with Pitt. Can't get through the sandwich of Smith and Sims. Smith tries to get it away. She won't. Tumman gets through too. Goes around the outside and cuts back inside. But again, Fogarty has been right there for United. Both teams still working hard to win this one. Only 10 minutes to go. But can't fault the effort of either side. All over the top. And well away in the end. Fogarty, a long ball, takes a really hard hop in front of Roy. Nina Roy. Here's Demarice. They have some momentum here, United. Well in by Shreve, big tackle. Neil goes forward as well and just thumps it out of play in the end. United are going to try and go quickly here. Bennett making her way up. Demarice wants it straight away. Don't go quite fast enough, but she will get it to her chest. Brings it down well. Does she have space to move? Olivia Demarice hits the pitch and it will be a free kick. As Smith with a long shot that almost goes top bins. Fogarty coming up to take this one. Very threatening little position here for United. 7 minutes to play. Seem to have just their noses in front in terms of momentum. Done well to sort of keep some energy in the bank for the last 10 minutes. And Fogarty goes potentially for goal, and Pinkovic's pretty comfortable in the end for a keeper of their calibre. Launches that one forward. Here is Swan. And a one-on-one with Dickinson. Again, fantastic battle out on that right-hand side. And away again by Isabella Duff. He's had a solid game back there for United. I think Knights has gone away a little bit from their simple sort of game plan. They're really trying to dribble their way through at the moment. Demarais. Fancy little touch. Demarais now streaming away on that right-hand side. Tries to go past Shreve, and it's a nice challenge. Had to be made. Good recovery running from Glenorchy Knights. You can see how they're setting up here. Still, United, they're very close to Bronte Udon, who hasn't had the space in this game to really open things up. Will it fall for United here? A little spin for Roy. Back in the box. Demarais is there. Cleared back out. And away again. The pressure is high here for Lonnie United. Indy Young over out on that far side. Big throw in from Dickinson. Falls on the deck. They clear it away. Tumman's trying to come away with it. Does well to bounce off one challenge. Wants to release Swan. Swan's gone over to the right-hand side. Bennett overruns it. Swan's in behind. She's got Gadon in the middle and just blocked away by Tia Bennett. Excellent recovery run on the fullback. Swan taking up a nice position. They've just swapped her over onto the right-hand side just to finish this game out. Probably a good decision. She's been pretty well held by Laura Dickinson on the right-hand side. Neil will take the corner. Radar hasn't been perfect from the fullback, and that's another one that's just a little bit skinny. Be saying, you want people to keep going, but it's probably three that have just skewed out of play for the Knights to no avail. Fogarty launches one high. Smith goes for the little nick on. Finds the feet of Demarais. She's got Roy streaming forward. Goes for the reverse pass to Smith. Cuts past one. Bologna in a good spot though. Bennett. Header up. We've got 5 minutes to go. You can see the pace is high. Both teams want to win this one. Fogarty this time. Goes for the long ball. It's going to sit up for Demarais. Shreve gets a foot in. Pinkovitz comes well and sits on it in the end for the Knights. It's a little bit nervy back there for Knights at the moment. Byers this time having to play it back to Neil. Demarais will try to track it down. Ball up the line only as far as Lucy Smith. Good turn inside. She goes for a long shot. Not ever really having the power behind it. You can see Lonnie United finishing with a lot of intent and energy. Fogarty coming across to make that header. Bennett with a little header. Brown and Swan try to chase down for Glenorchy, and it's for both sides, it's just keep it out of our box. I'll go forward again for Swan. She get there first. It's a good cross in and over the top of the keeper. Tumman was lurking at the back post. It would have been a tough one to gamble on that sort of narrow towards the goal. Looks like keeper did get a touch on it. And Swan trying to find something for the Knights to finish this one off. He's already got one goal. Can Glenorchy get something off this set piece here? 2 minutes to play. Here's Pitt. And swing is decent. Gadon's at the front stick, but again, Fogarty at the front stick. Ever present. McLeod, nicely done. She flings it forward. Gadon can't find her way through. And a little bit strong, as has been the way today for Gadon. Just uncharacteristically, just a little bit firm on some of her passes. She will stick in defensively here. Dickinson clears away. Finds Nina Roy. Indy Young. Smith. Almost. United here wanting to finish this one off. Massive long throw again from Dickinson. She'll get another opportunity, put it straight in the box here. They're going to have to be alert to it. Glenorchy. Probably could have taken an extra 5 metres here, Laura Dickinson. She's going to launch it into the box anyway. To the throng of bodies. Away by Summerneal. It's a 50-50 ball here. Dickinson gets in front of Tumman. She had much in front. Young was coming short and was overshot this one in the end. And the big scoreboard showing 90 minutes gone in the game so far. Will there be a sting in the tail? It's been up in the half of Lonnie United. Here's Smith. She's got Demarais at the top of the box. Stands up for Roy. Probably wanted to leave that one. Glenorchy on the counter. Here's Brown. Good hold-up play from the young striker. Nothing from the referee. Fogarty this time, and earns a free kick for United. I would have potentially seen that the other way at the end. Definitely a lot of holding between both players. Referee is forward, and I think Bayers looks like she's in quite a lot of pain on the ground there. She will get to her feet in the end. It's Lucy Smith helping her get through. Two talented young players helping each other out, potentially come up through the state system together. Fogarty will take the free kick that she's earned though. Lonnie United still aren't, they're not throwing that many players forward here. Still got 5 players back, including the taker. Dickinson's out wide. Fogarty will take knuckleball in. Almost falls for Smith. Young's going to have to get here. Held up by Baez. Fogarty will go straight back in. Demarais is onside. Wants her right foot. And well done by Bologna. Will come back in for Gadon. And offside is the call. Interestingly, no advantage there. I thought maybe Gadon could have got away there. I guess with offside they can't pay it. Shreve instead will take it long. And that will be full time here at KG5. A really good game, very physical game. And it will be 1-1, the finishing score between two fairly evenly matched sides. Glenorchy's winning streak does finish in the end with a point against United. And for United, probably a pretty good result away against a team that is in form. Knights hit the front through Eve Swan off a corner in the first half, and then just on the stroke of half-time, Lucy Smith made it 1-1 for Lonnie United. In a fascinating game, and as a lot of these mid-table matchups in the WSL tend to be, a very competitive one. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a good watch on the sidelines here at KG5, and I hope you stay tuned for the rest of the weekend's action. Again, the NPL finals coming up. If you just tune over, we'll meet you down at Kitchen Centre Park, Lightwood Park, in just a few moments. If not, enjoy your weekend, and thanks for joining us. My name's been Alex Mummery, and we will see you next time.